Sweet pea, apple of my eye.
When I was a little girl, there was a place in the woods right next to my grandparents' house. I tried to visit it often, but it just depended on how busy we were and how long I was allowed to stay out. To get to the spot, I had to venture through weeds, broken limbs, and fallen trees. And sometimes I accidentally walked into spider webs, and then I'd take off running, hoping the spider wasn't on me. After I regained composure, I always found my little creek. Sometimes it would be flowing with water, and other times it was dry because it hadn't rained that week. I followed the stream, as it took me straight through the woods. I walked on flatbed stones and large branches so as to keep my feet out of the mud. Sometimes I slipped, though, and both feet were forced in. If the water was flowing, then I was okay, but if it wasn't, the mud was not my favorite friend. Stumbles and mud dives didn't keep me from slowing down. I had my spot in mind. I was going to get there no matter how. Right where the creek narrowed, there were two solid walls of earth on either side. I'd have to grab a root that was sticking out, then swing myself around like I was on some playground ride. After the grand swing, I'd glide around to see my little place, right where the water pooled, the wildflowers danced, and the dragonflies raced. A large flat river rock. It rested right at the edge of the water. I'd retrieve my blanket from my bag and then spread it out so I could have my own little adventure. It's in that spot that I tangibly held peace, as I watched minnows and frogs fight for water space and as butterflies casually cantered in front of me. There at the water I felt safe. I felt like I was part of something amazing, something that by itself was beautiful, but with the addition of me, it was breathtaking. Not that I made it more wonderful or any more unique. It's just that by my being there, that place and time was finally complete. It's been a long time since I've been to that special spot. Often I wonder if it still looks the same, or are the wildflowers even dancing there or not. One thing that place did give me is that feeling of knowing when things are just right. I now have the knowledge to recognize completeness and to know what holding peace feels like. So much like that path to get to my special place. The path to real love can be winding. We can get our feet muddy, even falling directly on our face. Once you swing around the corner, though, when the time is right, you will see where you're supposed to be. You'll yearn to be in that spot every day and every night. The moment I held his hand, I was reminded of my favorite stream. I was overwhelmed with the same peace I held at the water's edge, and then I had to remind myself that it wasn't all a dream. I think that if we were to take a trip and walk into those woods today, there just might not be a creek. There might not be dragonflies dancing, or I wouldn't get to see the wildflower sway. The place that made me most alive packed its bags and took a human frame with eyes, hands, and feet. The moment I held his hand, a reunion between a little girl and her perfect place was finally complete.
Sweet pea, apple of my eye. Don't know when and I don't know why. You're the only reason I keep on coming.